The first thing you notice is the smell. Not the salt of the ocean, not the fuel from the jets, but something stranger. A mix of steel, sweat, detergent, and food that has been cooked for thousands of people. It hangs in the air of the ship, trapped in passageways that never truly see sunlight. You step aboard thinking you understand what an aircraft carrier is. You've seen the movies. The roaring jets, the flags, the hero shots at sunset. But within hours, you realize the truth. This is not just a warship. It's a floating city. And you are about to live inside it with 5,000 other people, every second, every day for months. Your first night doesn't come with a dramatic view of the ocean. It comes with a metal ladder, a narrow aisle, and a rack that looks too small to be real. Someone points at it and says, "That's yours." You stare at it, thinking there must be a mistake. It's barely wider than your shoulders. The mattress is thin, the metal frame cold, and the space above you so low you can almost touch it without sitting up. You try to laugh, but the joke never quite lands. This is your home now. For the next 6 to 9 months, you slide inside and pull the curtain closed. The sound outside doesn't stop. Boots on metal, voices, someone laughing, someone coughing, the hum of machinery that never sleeps. A jet thunders somewhere above your head, and the entire ship vibrates like a living thing. It's loud enough to rattle your teeth. You flinch. The sailor in the rack next to you doesn't even move. Later, you will learn that this is normal, that your body will adapt, that you will eventually sleep through explosions, alarms, and the sound of 50-ton aircraft slamming into steel just feet above your head. The first week is the hardest. You wake up confused, never sure what time it is. The ship operates on its own rhythm, not the world's. Watches rotate. Work shifts change. The sun becomes irrelevant. Some days you wake at midnight. Some nights you sleep in the afternoon. Your body clock shatters and rebuilds itself into something new. Something flexible. Something military. You learn quickly that privacy does not exist here. Not in the way you once understood it. You brush your teeth shoulder to shoulder with strangers who will soon become closer than family. You change clothes in corners, behind curtains, wherever you can. Conversations happen everywhere. In line for food. In the shower. In narrow passageways. Secrets don't last long on a carrier. News travels faster than the jets. One morning, you wake before your alarm. The ship feels different. Tense. Focused. Then you hear the call. Flight operations. The day begins. You climb out of your rack and dress in seconds. The corridor is already alive. People moving with purpose. Helmets, tools, clipboards. Above you, the deck roars as engines come alive. You imagine the pilots walking toward their aircraft, calm, professional, unaware of the hundreds of sailors working below to make their mission possible. The shower becomes your first real lesson in efficiency. You step inside a stall barely bigger than a phone booth. The water is hot for now. Someone knocks. You rush. Wet. Off. Soap. On. Rinse. Done. 2 minutes. Maybe less. Outside, the line grows. No one complains. Everyone understands. Water is precious. Time is precious. Everything is measured here. You begin to notice the small routines that keep people sane. One sailor listens to the same music every morning. Another writes in a journal. Someone has taped photos of their children inside their locker. Another has drawn a calendar, crossing off days with quiet determination. These rituals are survival. They remind you that life exists beyond the steel walls. The mess deck is where the ship feels most alive. You enter and see hundreds of people eating, laughing, arguing. The noise is overwhelming, but comforting. Food trays slide along metal rails. Steam rises from massive pots. You see cooks moving with precision, feeding thousands as if it were the most normal thing in the world. You sit, exhausted, and someone across from you says, "First deployment?" You nod. They grin. You'll get used to it. You don't believe them. But they're right. Weeks pass. The ocean becomes endless. You stop checking your phone because there is no signal. Messages from home come slowly. Sometimes not at all. Birthdays are missed. Weddings happen without you. Life continues somewhere far away. At night, you lie in your rack and imagine the people you love looking up at the same sky. The thought both comforts and hurts. One night, during a rare break, you climb to an outer deck. The wind hits your face, sharp and cold. The stars stretch across the horizon in a way you have never seen. No city lights. No noise. Just the ocean and the sky. For a moment, the ship feels small. Human. You realize you are part of something vast and ancient. Sailors have done this for centuries. Different ships. Different wars. Same loneliness. Same courage. Back inside, the chaos continues. Drills. Alarms. Simulations. Fires that aren't real, but feel real. Flooding exercises. Damage control. Everyone knows their role. Everyone moves without hesitation. You begin to understand the system. The carrier is not powerful because of its technology alone. It is powerful because of the people. You meet sailors from every background imaginable. Small towns. Big cities. Different countries. Different dreams. Some joined for college. Some for family tradition. Some because they had nowhere else to go. But here, those differences fade. Rank matters. Skill matters. Trust matters. There are moments of humor that make the hardship bearable. Someone plays a prank in the middle of the night. Someone organizes movie nights. Someone smuggles snacks and shares them during long watches. Laughter echoes through the ship, a reminder that even in the most disciplined environment, humanity finds a way. Halfway through deployment, time becomes strange. The days blur. You forget what month it is. The ocean never changes. Blue. Gray. Endless. Yet you change. The cramped spaces feel normal now. The noise fades into the background. You learn where to find quiet corners. You learn which meals are best. You learn when to shower to avoid the rush. You also learn what exhaustion truly means. 12-hour shifts. Then drills. Then maintenance. Sleep becomes a currency. You trade it for productivity, for readiness, for mission success. And yet, somehow you keep going. Everyone does. One evening, after a particularly brutal week, the ship announces a holiday meal. The mess deck transforms. Decorations appear. Music plays. The cooks serve food that reminds you of home. Officers serve the crew. For a few hours, the warship becomes something else. A community. A family. You sit with your friends, people you met only months ago but now trust with your life. You share stories. You laugh. Someone says, "We're going to miss this one day." You laugh at the idea. But deep down, you know it's true. Toward the end of deployment, the mood shifts. There is excitement, anticipation, plans for leave, plans for reunions, but also something quieter. Pride. You have endured something difficult, something few people will ever understand. The final weeks are the hardest. Time slows. Every day feels longer. Every hour stretches. You count down meals, count down sunsets, count down watches. Then one morning, the announcement comes. Home port in sight. You climb to the deck with thousands of others. The coastline appears in the distance. Small at first, then growing. You see buildings, cars, people, the world you left behind. Some sailors cry. Some stand silent. Some smile. The ship that once felt like a prison now feels like a second home. You realize you will miss the noise, the chaos, the camaraderie. As the carrier docks, families gather on the pier. Banners, flags, children waving. The moment is overwhelming. Months of sacrifice, condensed into a single instant. You step off the ship and feel solid ground beneath your feet. It feels strange, unstable. You turn back and look at the carrier. Massive, powerful, alive. You understand now what most people never will. That behind every launch, every mission, every headline, there are thousands of sailors living in conditions that test their limits. Sleeping in spaces smaller than closets. Showering in minutes. Eating meals in crowded halls. Working without rest. Missing the people they love. And yet, they do it willingly. Because the strength of a navy is not just steel and firepower. It is the people who endure the hardship. The ones who adapt. The ones who stand watch while the world sleeps. The next time you see a carrier on the horizon, remember that inside that floating city are stories like yours. Stories of resilience, of sacrifice, of humor and friendship in the face of exhaustion. If you ever wonder what it takes to serve at sea, the answer is simple. It takes everything. And somehow, those sailors give it, day after day, without hesitation. And long after they leave the ship, long after the noise fades and the ocean becomes a memory, a part of them will always remain there. In the narrow racks, in the endless watches, in the friendships forged in steel. Because once you have lived on that floating city, you are never quite the same again.